Doing? My name's Nate. If you have any questions along the way as we work, please don't hesitate to stop me. Um, but I see that you have the cake problem. I want to get started. Um, so when you have problems delineated like that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B, C, D, the first thing I recommend doing is figuring out what it's asking. Figure out the question. So it says find the area of each slice of cake. Okay, so we know we're dealing with area, so we need an area formula. We know we're dealing with the cake, but we don't know the shape of the cake. So at this point, let's read the problem. It says you have a cake that is 10 inches in diameter. Diameter is a key word. So knowing that we're talking about a diameter, what shape do you think the cake is? Yeah, it's a circle. Good. And you expect 12 people to share it, so you cut it into 12 equal slices. That's going to be key. So before we can find the area of a slice of the cake, we have to figure out the area of the whole cake. So what is the area formula for a circle? Area equals pi times radius squared. What are we going to plug in for area? We don't know. Area is what we're trying to look for. So we're going to keep area, pi is 3.14. And then the radius we don't know. But we do know our diameter is 10 inches. How do you find the radius from the diameter? There you got it. So you cut it in half. Divide by 2. And I got 5 inches. So what I'm going to do is plug in 5 inches in place of radius right here. So I put that in there. I have the area equals pi times 5 squared. Now you can put in 5 inches and square it, and then you have inches squared or square inches at the end. That helps me to remember my units. Or you can leave some people like to leave the units out when they do the computation and bring them back in at the end. As long as you know what type of units you're dealing with, then that should be fine too. So what do you get for the area of the whole circle, the whole cake? 25 pi inches squared. Now we're looking for the area of each slice. We know that there are 12 equal slices, so we'll take the total area and divide it by 12. So the area of a slice of cake should be 25 pi over 12 inches squared. Now let's look at before we move on, do you have any questions? Okay. So let's move to the next part. It says before you get a chance to serve the cake, 12 more people show up. So you decide to cut a concentric, meaning having the same center, circle in the cake so that you'll have 24 pieces. How far from the center of the cake should the circle cut be made so that all 24 people get the same amount of cake? Here's our original figure, a diagram. These are our 12 slices that we've cut. This is what they want you to do next. And I'm glad they give you a visual. But they want you to cut another circle that makes the inner slices and those outer slices the same area. So let me just color that in for you. Now, just a leading question, how many inner slices and how many outer pieces, I should say, do we have? So we have 12. We cut it in 12 pieces originally. Now we have 12 inner, 12 outer. Now, if this blue part and this red have to be equal, we can assume that each of these inner slices has to have the same area as the outer slice that goes with it. What that means is we've essentially cut this circle so that its area is exactly half of the entire circle's area. So, what was the entire circle's area? And if you have more questions, we'll talk about that. But let's keep moving for the sake of time. What's the entire area of what's the entire area of the cake? 25 pi inches squared. And we know that we need half of that to represent this inner circle. I'll color it all the way in for you. To represent the area of that inner circle. So what I've done is cut that 25 pi in half, divide by 2, and that's going to be our area. Now we're trying to figure out the distance from this center to the edge of that circle, from here to the edge. Now what is the distance from the center to the edge of any circle? That'd be called your radius, right? So how do area and radius relate? Well, we just found area equals pi times r squared, but what are we given in this case? Yeah, we're not given radius, we're given the area. So we're going to plug in where we would see A, plug in 25 pi over 2 inches squared, and set that equal to pi times r squared. Now I'll let you solve the equation to figure out your radius. And the student would solve, they'd end up getting 5 over square root of 2 inches for the radius. Then I would ask them questions such as, why did the units change from inches squared to inches? What do we do with that denominator if there's a radical? And then finally, would it be better to have an exact value or a decimal approximation?